As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am here once again very early in the morning with my co-host Andy. But this time he's not sacking us off for Germany versus Spain in the Euros. He's sacking us off for a much better reason this evening. And tell us about that, Andy.
Well, I am ultra-ing again this weekend. So it is Race to the Stones tomorrow, Saturday. And because it's like a 6:30 start and it's over the other side of the country, it's like starts in somewhere like, I think it's Oxfordshire or Hertfordshire. I don't know. I should really find out where the start is. It's over towards London somewhere, and it would be a bit of a jaunt to get there. So we're stopping at the same place that we stopped at last time, which is near the finish line. So good to get home, but maybe it's not quite so close to obviously to the start line. But I don't know if you remember watching last year's video, but it's the one with the hot tub.
Yeah.
But won't be able to get to use it because of England getting to the final. We've written to the Airbnb people and said, can we have, we're going to probably come home to watch the final instead of watching it in the, cabin in the middle of nowhere. Can we have a refund? And they said, well, you can't have a refund, but would you like to come and stay here another night, take it in lieu? So yeah, we're just going to have a random night down there later this summer. So they haven't kept our money, but they've said, it's one of them where we stayed there last year. And when you get like a bit of a rapport or you get chatty with the owners, they say to you sort of off the record, if you want to come and stay here again, here's my number. Let's not bother with Airbnb fees. Just give me a text or give me a shout when you want to come. So that's exactly what we did. So they're really sound about it, really. So
awesome.
So yeah, that's exactly what we've done. So yeah, we'll be going later on in the year to get our last day done. But yeah, we thought we'd come home to watch England. Are you going to be watching the finale? Do you know where you're going to be, or have you thought that far ahead?
I'll probably watch it at home like I have all the other matches. Just sit at home with my cats.
Yeah. Well, this time last week we said England might be in the final, and since then we've won two games.
I know, and one on pens as well.
That game was the penalties were exquisite, weren't they? They were absolutely phenomenal.
Ivan Toney's penalty where he didn't take his eyes off the keeper, mate.
That's cojones of steel, isn't it? That's quite an impressive skill, considering he'd only come on the pitch not too many minutes before that. So yeah, to have the balance to do that, fair play. And then the game against Holland. But I've seen, because a lot of people were saying, me included, the penalty that we were given wasn't a penalty. But I saw a meme on this. I don't think it was a penalty. I think if I was a defeat, but
if that was anywhere else on the pitch though, and he's got his studs up at the player, that's going to be a free kick, isn't it? Anywhere else on the pitch. So if it's in the penalty box, it's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, I
know it's a soft one, but anywhere else, it's going to be a free kick no matter what.
The laws of the game are ridiculous, and you're kind of second guessing all the time. But then I don't know if you watched it on ITV, but they've got that referee, the woman who's like the analyst of the rules, and it says
Mhm.
voice of Christina Uncle or something like that. And she came on and said, the recommendation here is that it probably won't be a penalty. And then ref goes and gives a penalty or something like that. At least I think that's what she said, because I was watching it with other people, so I don't. But I remember thinking, oh, that's a soft one. But then I think about all the times that we've been robbed of big decisions over the years.
Yeah.
Sol Campbell, 2004 against Portugal. Frank Lampard, 2010 against Germany. And,
Yeah.
David
Well,
Beckham's, was that really a red card? I don't know. Like all those things.
Last Euros, where that Italian player pulled Saka back by the scruff of his neck.
Exactly. We were due a bit of good luck. So
Yeah.
And we did all right. We played well.
Yeah.
And Saka, I think, is carrying the team. I think he's good. He's a really, really good player. And good to see. I hate to admit this, but it's good to see a Villa player stepping up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all my mates have.
Get on the pitch and go and score a goal. All right, and boss.
Yeah, it's exactly what he did. So I hate to admit that, because all my mates are Villa fans. So, but yeah, so no, good feeling to be in the final. And England v Spain on Sunday.
Yeah. What's your prediction?
It's going to be tight. It has to be a tight game. There's no way it's going to be a 3-0 either way. No chance. It could even be a 0-0. It could even be a 0-0 and then go to penalties. Our best course of action, I think, is soaking up the pressure and playing on the counter attack, because that's what will happen. I think Spain will dominate. So I just think if we can get in behind them with Saka, and Phil Foden has to play well, which he did, I think, for the first 70 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think optimistic Andy is saying 1-0 at best to England. Realistic Andy says 0-0 and then penalties. Pessimistic and maybe more realistic Andy says maybe a 2-0 win for Spain or 1-0 win for Spain. But who knows? We'll see. And hopefully we'll all have the day off on Monday. National holiday.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that'll cut the mustard with national holidays, to be honest.
Well, if that's one way the new Prime Minister can really gain the trust of the new public, is that, sorry, everyone, we're all having the day off. But it works out quite well, because our race is Saturday. So I'll be finished by the time it's going dark Saturday night, which means hopefully, depending on how well my night's sleep goes Saturday night, hopefully I'll get up in time for checkout. But that's when I was going to use the hot tub on Sunday day and recover. But obviously we've got to go now. We're going to be out for 11 and 10 o'clock probably, which is okay, which is fine. But that's the only wounder, really. I really was looking forward to using the hot tub all day Sunday. But so it's going to be a good weekend, I think. Hopefully the perfect weekend.
Yeah. Well, I did put my name down to race on Sunday at one of the senior league meets, but they managed to fill the roster without me. So I'll have the whole day on Sunday, so I can get some work done and then sit down to watch footy in the evening.
Why did you sort of say, I'll do it if you're short and if you can't get anyone else to do it?
It's sort of, yeah. I said, do you need anyone? And he was like, oh, well, possibly. We've got spaces here, and here. And I was like, well, put my name down, but if you can get other people, then go for it. Because it's the senior league meet as well. So it's like the younger people can enter as well and race, rather than the Vets League where it's over 35s.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So seniors, anything over 18. So you could be up against...
I think it's anything over 17 can race.
So you could be up against some basically Olympians.
Exactly. Basically, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So, so he filled the team. The only space left was a space in the 3,000 steeplechase, which... I don't know if you've ever seen a steeplechase barrier, but it's a lot higher than you expect in real life. When you watch it on TV, you think, they're just jumping over a hurdle. But my God, the steeplechase barriers, they're high, big, solid things.
So how is best to approach that? At speed and just try and literally hurdle it? Or do you actually have to get your bum on it and shift yourself over it? Get a ladder out.
I mean,
Get your step ladder
I
out.
can imagine that's what you'd do. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Sit
would.
on it and swing your legs over on everyone. No, like when you see the pros do it, they jump it like a hurdle, and it's
Yeah.
mad. Apart from the water jump, where a lot of them put their foot on it and try and jump over the water and clear the
Yeah.
water. But
Yeah.
at our level, most people step up, like more or less hurdle it, but step up, put a foot on top of the hurdle and jump over.
Which I imagine first lap and second lap, I don't know how many laps it will be. First couple of
It's
laps,
3,000 meters, so it's 7.5 laps. No,
yeah,
sorry, not 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 laps.
I can imagine the first couple of laps it being, yeah, okay to hurdle that. But as your legs are getting tireder and tireder,
Yeah,
jumping, and like you say, if you misjudge that, that's a long way down, isn't it? If you just catch your
yeah,
toe on that bar,
yeah. I have
it's
seen
not.
far too many water jump fails on Instagram and stuff to make me go, no, I'm all right, actually.
People just face planting in that. Is
Yeah.
it a bit like one of the famous jumps in the Grand National where it's lower down on the other end? So
Yeah, so basically there's the barrier. So
yeah,
the ground up to the barrier is
at,
perfectly flat.
at,
It
at
just
track level.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it just comes off the track slightly and it's at track level. So the barrier's normal height, but then straight after the barrier it dips down about 2 foot and the
Oh
ground's
God.
sloped and it's
Yeah.
sloped back up to normal height and
Yeah.
that triangle of ground is full of water. So
So if you,
basically if you don't
yeah,
clear it as well, you're landing on an uphill.
yeah. Wow. I suppose your first time ever doing that will probably feel a bit strange. So if
Yeah.
you're one of those unlucky people that gets roped into doing the steeplechase, yeah, it could be a long 7.5 laps if you don't even make that first jump.
Yeah. So
So
I
it,
think Pete is going to do it on his own.
oh, fair
3,000
play.
steeplechase.
So are there two? Is there a water jump and a non-water jump with steeplechase, or is
There's,
it just
I
one per
think
lap?
this, I think there is 4 normal barriers and then 1 water jump every lap.
Oh, oh, right. I thought there was just one or two per lap. I didn't realize it was like literally one every 100
Yeah,
meters or
yeah,
so.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. So that is quite a grueling, exhausting event then,
yep,
if you're doing it hard
yeah,
as well. Wow.
yeah. Which is one of the reasons why it's a bit gutting for the UK lad. I can't. What's his name? I'm gonna have to Google it now because GB steeple chase.
Is this the guy you said who didn't get selected?
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I know who you mean. He's gone viral this week, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, why can't I?
Is this the guy that got the Olympic qualifier time?
Well, yes. So this is the thing.
I just played that actual Gareth Southgate thing though. That hopefully that didn't pop up. I've been watching these memes of Gareth Southgate saying some rather choice things. It's obviously been AI, and so
Yeah.
apologies if you heard him say what he just said. Then
So his name's Phil Norman, and
yeah,
he basically is within the quota on the World Athletics rankings to go to the Olympics. So he's
yeah,
within the list that you have to be in, like the top however many. He's in that quota, so he's had an invite from World Athletics of yes, you can come to the Olympics,
yeah,
and he won the UK trials, but the UK, so the UK qualifying time, which they set separately to the Olympic qualifying time. They just say, this is our qualifying time. He missed by 0.15 of a second. So,
oh my god,
like, it's the most minuscule amount. And because of that, UK athletics have gone, yeah, sorry, we're not taking you.
god.
So even though he's had an invite from World Athletics to say, yes, you've qualified for the Olympics, even though he won the trial, they're still saying, no, you can't come because you didn't hit the standard and you haven't got a chance of getting top 8.
So have we got any representatives then? Have we got any
No.
British people doing it?
Not in the steeplechase, no.
That is absolutely bonkers. So you're denying people the chance to even compete.
Yeah.
Based on that is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
What a decision that is. I don't understand that because a lot of England did that. England specifically did that with the Commonwealth Games. There's a few marathoners. Like I think, do you know the female runner Becky Briggs?
Yeah.
So I think she won Manchester 2022 maybe, or 21. I can't remember, one of the years. And she's lightning fast. She's a 2:30 marathoner, maybe quicker. And she won Manchester, did really well. And I think she was in the hat to be selected for, the English team for the Commonwealth Games. But she so easily could have just been thrown in the hat. It's a hometown, not hometown. It was an English Commonwealth. We were hosting it.
Yeah.
Let's put as many English athletes as possible in there. But they just said, no, sorry. You didn't make the standard by a minute or something like that, or not even that, a few seconds. Yeah. Well, so I don't understand why you deny someone that opportunity.
Well, yeah. Well, apparently UK athletics have got this idea that if you're not going to get top 8 in a major championships, then they don't want to send you because they said funding won't cover enough people. So if you're not going to get top 8, we don't want to send you because there's no point. But at the same time, they've got a team of about 16 runners for the relays. Yeah. So you're taking a shed load of people for the relays who might not even run because you've got reserves for the relays as well.
Yeah.
But you won't send a guy who's 0.15 off the time, which I think is terrible.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I was saying to some people as well, like last night, it doesn't inspire young kids to want to go and do the steeplechase, because why would they want to try and do an event that they're never going to be able to go to championships for and compete in?
Yeah.
No young kid is going to go, oh yeah, I really want to do the steeplechase because we get told we can't go.
Yeah. You look at like the American model of the track athletes, they've got such a, if you look at them from college, even from high school, like they put so much onus and emphasis, don't they, on track. And you think about the Chinese, for example, with their gymnastics, like there's such a big, it's just such a big part of the culture. Why can't in Britain we do something similar? I genuinely, does nobody care? Do they want people not to care? Do they not want to change people's? Because I think people would care if the kids, the young people of the UK had the opportunity to potentially go to the Olympics. Of course, people would start caring. It's mad, isn't it? The culture here around athletics is quite. Of course, no one seems to care because they don't know anything about it. In America, they're like celebrities, aren't they? The track athletes. Even the high school and the college athletes, they're treated like royalty. I think a lot of them, but here it's just like football's our number one thing. So let's just go with that.
The what's called the US champs are very different to the UK champs, though, in the way that they work. So with the US Olympic qualifying champs, so they have the US champs every year, but when it's an Olympic year, top 3 of the race goes to the Olympics, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. It's a trial. If you come top 3, you go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, you can come top 3 in the UK trial, but if you haven't got that qualifying time, they don't want to know. So see you later.
It's such a shame, isn't it? It's like, because really, it should be selected on form, not what
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
done 8, 12 months
yeah, yeah,
ago or what your personal
yeah.
best is.
But and apparently, Phil Norman, that steeplechaser, he's I think he, I think quite possibly his time, which is 0.15 off the standard, is the fourth fastest British steeplechase time ever. So
Really?
he's up there with some of our fastest steeplechasers ever, and they still don't want to send him. And
It's bananas, isn't it?
that's the other crazy thing. Some of the other countries, their steeplechasers are slower than him. They haven't run a faster time than him, but they're going to the Olympics because of their country's selection policy.
And steeplechase, I imagine as well, isn't. I imagine the field of steeplechasers isn't that big. So if you're on that start line, just by sheer percentages, you've got a chance of getting on the podium because all you have to do is have the run of your life. If you can't, you've got to be in it to win it. And if you're not in it,
Mm-hmm.
what a shame that is. He's been denied an opportunity by a stupid system, basically.
Yeah, there was some other controversy as well in the UK selection. Like, for instance, Jake Whiteman's been selected for the 800, even
Yeah.
though he didn't run in the trial. He got a medical exemption for a tight calf or a calf strain. So he was going to run in the 1500 meters, didn't, and then has been selected over Elliot Giles, who ran in the 800 meters but clashed with Josh Kerr and went down. But I sort of agree with that choice because Jake Whiteman's run the fastest 800 meters of any UK athlete this year. So
this is the same fella that originally beat Ingebrigtsen, wasn't it? Is it
yes,
Eugene?
in
Was
the
it Eugene?
1500
Or Budapest?
at
I can't remember which one it was.
the world champs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's an 800, 1500 meter runner, and he's quick over the 800. So I can understand why he's been chosen for that. But then, like, is it Hannah Nuttall? She has missed out of qualification for the 5,000, I think it was. And then I think a hammer thrower has been hasn't been selected, and there's all sorts where there's quite a lot of bad decisions where it's I mean, to say you're an Olympian is a massive thing, and to miss out on such a small, little, tiny amount is crazy.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
It's sort of life changing, isn't it? Think of
Absolutely
like the way your life changes when you can say I'm an athlete and I'm an Olympian.
It's different with a lot of other sports. Like, let's take football, for example. If you miss out on a World Cup squad, you probably still play for a top British team. So you've still got other things to compete for. And let's face it, you're probably still getting paid a lot of money. And
I was going to say, and you're earning thousands and thousands of pounds a week. Whereas most of these runners who are trying to get to the Olympics have got a job at the same time as training to get to the Olympics.
So they've got 4 years. What was it Usain Bolt said about all that work going into 9.5 seconds of running? And like, it's the time, the preparation and the dream that you're sort of sold, I imagine, a little bit by England Athletics when you're getting, probably when you're young in the sport. I suppose at least if you're American and you come forth on, the Olympic trial, if you came, Sarah Hall, by the way, she's she's a American female marathon runner. I first saw her in the London Marathon. I think it was the COVID year. I don't know if you remember that. Did you watch that? The
one where they did like loops. 4 loops, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think that was the year where she was in about 4th position, and then she kicked from about 2 miles to go, and she ended up gaining a position. I think she might have even finished 3rd, but she had an unreal. She's sponsored by ASIC. She's a really good runner. I think at the Olympic trials in America, was it January, something like that? She finished fourth. So it's unfortunate, but at least fair play. I wasn't good enough on the day. I'm not going to the Olympics. But imagine living with that hope of thinking, yeah, I've qualified, I've met the standard, and then getting told, no, you're not going.
Yeah.
Like at least with the Olympics, the American system, at least you know where you stand.
Exactly. Yeah. The American trials, I think, were start of June. So they only
last
month.
year.
No,
sorry.
This year.
When was the marathon one though? It was in Florida or something. I'm sure it was in January.
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. The marathon trials. Yes.
Because what's his name? Conor
not the
Manson.
track. Yeah, not the track trials. I know what you mean now. Yes. Yeah. That was like back February time. Yeah.
I'm sure it was in Florida or something. And Sarah Hall, because you'd expect her to be on the Olympic start line for a marathon, but she's not going to be going. I'm pretty sure she won't be going unless there's an injury to one of the other women. But
did you hear about all the Australian controversy as well with the marathon choices?
I think we talked about it. No, I can't remember though. What was that?
So one of them was in the men's. One of the guys had run the Olympic standard. He hadn't quite. He was just over by a few seconds for the Olympic standard.
Yeah.
But it was in the quota of the World Athletics to pick, and I think it's top 80 in the World Athletics quota can go to the Olympics. So he was going to be the third Australian pick, but in the Olympics, some countries get a like a wild card entry where they can just put in their top runner. So if they haven't got enough people going to the Olympics, they can go, right, this event, we'd like this person to go. He's our top runner. So that started to take up some of the 80 places in the things, which knocked him out of the quota. So even though he had run a much quicker time than a load of runners, they were getting in over him. So that caused a bit of trouble. But apparently he's got the place in the end. I think his name's Liam Adams. So he's now going, which is cool. But with the women, it was even crazier because there was 6 women who had hit the Olympic standard time, and Athletics Australia then had to decide which 3 of the 6 were going.
How do you do that?
And that's the issue. So everybody had their opinion of who should go.
Yeah.
Loads of people were saying, yes, we should probably pick the top 3 fastest. But then other people were saying, but no, the course is going to be hilly and hot in Paris. So therefore we should pick the people with the best track record of running hot marathons or hilly marathons.
Yeah.
And then other people were saying we should pick the 3 with the best track record in major championships. So that decision caused a lot of hoo-ha in Australia and a lot of publicity.
Well, they've caused their own problem by that, and that will happen more and more, I guess, as people get faster and faster. There'll be more and more people. Like, I don't know, in 10 years, maybe people running sub 2 marathons won't be a big thing anymore. But like maybe that will be. It's the same with Olympic qualifying times. People will start hitting them and smashing them, and then these Olympic committees will have that kind of. That's why I think the American system is so good, because it simulates race day. It simulates the Olympic. It simulates that big occasion. Can you come up with the goods on the big day? And if you can't, that's unlucky. Maybe it wasn't your day, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. And that's why I think the American system seems to work better than any others. But
it's mad. But I'm looking forward to it though. The Olympics, it's not far away now. I think it's less than a month before it starts.
Do you know if Elliot is fit? Do you think there's no reason to think that he won't be racing, is there?
as far as I know, he's training well and he's going to be good. But the exciting part is Kenenisa Bekele got his place for the Ethiopian marathon team. So
Yeah.
Kenenisa Bekele versus Eliud Kipchoge for the Olympics. That's going to be great.
Which race was it? Was it London where he was winning or he was second?
Who? Kenenisa Bekele? Yeah,
Yeah,
he came
yeah.
second. Yeah,
He had a really good race, didn't he?
Yeah, he was with the other guy till about the last mile, and the other guy just kicked on and finished. But
and the extraordinary thing about it is he's in his 40s. Is that right?
Yeah, and he broke his own over 40s record in London this year.
So marathon running is not really a young man's game, but you're peaking really sort of, I guess, marathon, champions are looking at early 30s to mid 30s maybe. And he's 40. I don't know what his age is, but he's still up there, still running really well. So
I think Kipchoge is 38 now.
Yeah, okay. And when did he run his fastest time in Berlin? Was that a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so he would have been about 36. Yeah, that's it. He's the same age as me, Kipchoge. So I don't know what my excuse is. Why am I not doing it? Why am I not running?
He's
2 hour
marathons? 39. He's 39. He was born in 84.
What, Elliot?
Yeah.
When's his birthday?
He'll be
Did it say?
5th of November.
Remember. Gunpowder, treason and plot.
Yeah. So he'll be 40 this year.
Scorpio. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I was going to interrupt this Olympic chat because I wanted to give you your riddle me this for the day to see if you can get it, and we will announce the one at the end. Okay, so this one requires a little bit of out of the box thinking. It's not quite like the ice one last week, which was this is strong as steel but can't handle the sun. So today's riddle me this is: what is there one of in every corner and two of in every room?
O's.
Yeah, that's correct. That's annoying. You got it straight away. I thought we could have fleshed that out for about half an hour, but no. The letter O is correct. Yeah, it was too easy. Oh, that's it. An insight into how your brain works, I guess. So maybe I'll start avoiding cryptic ones then, because you seem to be good at them.
So sorry to everybody. I've ruined the game there. I should have kept that quiet until the end of the pod.
Next time I'm going to ask it in the last 5 minutes. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So well done, but you've ruined it. You've ruined it. So yeah, the letter O. Well done to everyone if you got that at home. If you got it quicker than 4 seconds.
Are you gonna pick up your ball and storm off home now?
Taking my ball, I'm going home.
That's it now. End of the game. I'm going home.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Yeah, I think that's 1 out of 3. I don't think you got the other 2, did you?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah. Okay, I'll pick something harder next week. But So how has your training been going this week then? So here we are in the middle of summer. Not really many races going on. You've got Droitwich out of the way last week, and that was the week before last, wasn't it? So what have you been doing this week, and what are you working towards? Anything, or is it just a bit of a topic? What do you call it? Ticking over kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the summer of speed. Let's get training for a faster 5K time. But this week I've been struggling, mate. I've been struggling.
Yeah.
My hip and glute issues have reappeared and reared their ugly head once again. So what I had at the start of the year
same thing
is exactly the same thing. But I have been thinking about this and why it might have happened. And so the injury I had at the end of last year, when did it occur? What race did we do just before?
What
Can
do
you
we do?
remember?
Alton Towers?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was Alton Tower. So we did Alton Towers. Um, what type of course is Alton Towers?
it's quite a hilly, undulating course.
It's quite a hilly course, isn't it? Yeah. And then after Alton Towers, what didn't I do?
Recover.
Oh yeah, I
Do
didn't
much.
take any rest. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
take any rest time and didn't recover properly. What race did we do 2 weeks ago?
The Droitwich Half Marathon.
Which is what type of course?
Quite hilly and undulating.
Yeah, and what didn't I do afterwards?
Any rest or recovery?
Yeah, exactly. I just carried on.
Hmm.
So yeah,
A pattern is
so last
forming.
week, so last week I was struggling with a tight calf, weren't I? So I took it
Yeah.
a bit easier, but I still didn't cut down my mileage at all, and I didn't take any days off or anything from a normal thing. And I think that's caught up with me. Along with on Thursday last week, it was the election, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the counts in Redditch take place at Abbey Stadium in the sports hall. So they closed the Abbey Stadium at 8 o'clock rather than 10 o'clock. So after session on Thursday, when I would normally go in and use the cross trainer and do my S&C, they'd close the gym. So I just went home and did my I can't, I'll be all right. I won't bother doing it this week.
Oh,
And then on Sunday, I thought, because I've not had the best of weeks, I'll go out with the B&R lot and I'll just do a nice easy run. So put my recovery day shoes on to go and have a nice easy steady run, and got down there, started running, and Pete started going off a little bit quicker, and I was chatting with Pete, so I went with Pete, and then all of a sudden we were running marathon pace. So ended up doing a long run at marathon pace, and then it's just carried on from there. So my tight calf has turned into glute and hip tightness and pain. But
so how far was that long run you did at marathon pace?
13 mile. So the
Oh
first
wow.
couple of miles were easier, but then we did
Yeah.
most of it at
Yeah, it's
So
quite intense, really. It's
yeah,
very intense. Yeah.
but Tuesday and Thursday this week, I've done my cross trainer and my S&C, and it's getting better. So
Okay.
S&C works, Andy.
I don't know what
S&C
you're talking
works.
about. You know,
But
yeah, I was going to say,
go on.
you're doing a summer of speed.
Yeah,
I'm doing like a summer of slow. Like at Droitwich, I just couldn't get out of second gear. Like I felt like it's such a horrible feeling. And I know I've completely brought this on myself because I haven't been keeping up with my training, but I just feel like it's so easy to lose fitness from marathon training. When you think about, that week or that couple of, when you're peaking with your marathon training or even on marathon day, you think about how fit, if you've had a good block leading up to that, if you think about how fit you feel and how good you feel, like I feel like a few pounds heavier than I was, and I just feel completely different. And it's just such a. I mean, I don't feel that guilty about it. I do a little bit because I would love to be running that intensity, that level of fitness all the time. But I know that's for most of us unachievable. But on the other hand, I'm actually quite glad that I've taken a step back because I got ill. I had a couple of weeks of COVID, and in a weird way, I'm quite glad that I've maybe avoided burnout by
yeah,
taking a step back, because I know I've got this long run tomorrow, but in a weird way, I can't wait for it to be over because I just want to get next week and recover next week, and then I'm going to go back to looking towards the sub 25k, and then my Valencia training block is going to be starting in
it's not far
early
away, is
August,
it?
and I can't wait. I love marathon fitness and I love the way it feels. Like, for example, I ran Droitwich the other day and I realized I haven't really run on tarmac for such a long time.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been doing so much run on the trails and, so much run on like paths and stuff. And I just thought, wow, I mean, it's controversial. I know we said this last week, but road racing compared to trail depends on the intensity of the trail race that you're running. But I just find it so much harder, road racing. I just find it disgustingly hard. And especially doing a road race when you're not ready for it, it just makes it 10 times harder. But that being said, I'm glad I've almost had a quote unquote rest, but I'm ready now to start, because the goals I'm looking at, sub 25k. I want to get a 43-minute 10k, which I think will be achievable.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
which is 2 21:30 splits. And then I want to go for my 130 sub 130 half marathon, which I'm going to have 3 bites at in September and October, because I've got Worcester, the Great North Run, and Cardiff half. And then I want to go for that 3:20 marathon in Valencia. So it helps me now knowing that I've got these ambitious targets to work towards, which I didn't have in January. I didn't really have any targets. I was just, right, let's just go as fast as we can. And if we don't get it, or, let's just go as close to, the red line as we can. But now it helps me now knowing that I've got targets in mind that I want to hit.
Yeah.
Because I can start literally structuring training around those targets. So I just want to get this ultra out of the way. But I'm not thinking, oh, I can't wait for it to be over. I mean, I'll probably be thinking that after 10k tomorrow. But I do love the trails. I do love the long races. And they are actually quite good for your zone 2 and your zone 3 stuff, because you're in those zones for such a long time. So they are actually doing you good. They are good for your endurance. But I just feel like I've lost so much speed over this summer. And I just can't wait to start doing speed workouts again. And like we said in January, I can't wait to work really hard again. And I feel that's something I haven't done since Newport. So I just can't wait to start doing sessions again. I can't wait to start moaning about running again.
Amazing. Yeah. Talking of sessions and pushing it and stuff, like this week on Tuesday, I did go down to session and thought I will try and take part, even though I'm not feeling 100%. I'm still going to see what I can do. And it ended up being quite a tough evening, because it was hot and muggy. So it'd been raining in the day, but then got really hot in the evening. And when it's just a bit muggy and a bit sweaty. And the session was 4 times 1600 off 90 seconds. So that's basically 4 times a mile. It's because 1609 meters is a mile. So 4 times a mile off 90 seconds in between each mile. And in the last rep, I almost threw in the towel. I just felt absolutely terrible. But I was like, nah, these sessions where it feels hard are the ones that help you and improve you. So even though it's tough, keep on pushing through and get to the end. And so I did push through, and I got slower throughout the reps, but not that much slower. So I was quite pleased in the end, but I was running nowhere near the pace I wanted to. I don't know what it was. It just felt really tough on that night. So I did a 5:29, 5:35, 5:36, and a 5:38. So decent pace, but not where I wanted it to be, because obviously I wanted to be running about 3k pace, which is about 5:20-ish a mile. But
that's fast.
But
that's
then after that, we then had a few minutes to recover, and then there was a little add-on at the end of the session, which was 4 times 150 meters of 250 meters jog. And I said to Pete, because Andy, our coach, was away with work, so Pete took over, Coach Pete. And I said, so what sort of pace are we looking to do the 150 meters at? And he went, just stride them out. So do it like stride pace. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He was like, so not flat out, not all out, just like strides. So I was like, yeah, cool. So all of us as a group jogged round to where we were going to start the 150 meters, set off on the first one, I lapped my watch, and I set off at stride pace, and everybody just floored it and went for it and just started disappearing. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to put in some effort here and chase them down for the first 150 meters. I was like, I thought we were supposed to be stride pace. And they were like, yeah. So then it just ended up being a competition of can we out sprint each other over 150 meters. So the first one I did in 26 seconds. Game. Yeah, so first one I did in 26 seconds, and then the second one was 25 seconds. The third one was 24 seconds, and then the last one was 23 seconds. All of us just going all out down the thing. But yeah, so that was a tough old session that day, just because the 1600s were tough enough, and then all of a sudden everybody's just trying to out sprint each other.
That must have been like I don't know. Was the mood in camp quite, serious, or was it quite playful?
Oh, it's playful. It's yeah, of course, yeah. It's fun. So we're all like game face on for that 150 meters, and then we cross the line, and we all go, oh man, and then have a laugh and a joke as we go around for 250 meters, and then we're like about 10 meters before the start line, we all stop talking, and then it's all serious for that 150 meters, and then we're laughing and joking again. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
That sounds good.
It's a nice bit of a friendly rivalry, which is good.
I know you've said this time and time again, but I imagine your club mates are a massive reason why you've progressed so much over the last couple of years.
Oh, big time.
You're running. You're almost like copying. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you copy what people are doing, who are doing something right and doing something good, good things will probably happen to you. So I imagine if you can just emulate what people are doing on the track, off the track, how they're training, even how they're eating and drinking, I imagine that sort of stuff that you can't really, if you're a blooming lone ranger like me, you're going to develop bad habits and you're going to think you know it all. But when you come together as a community of people who actually, let's be honest, know a little bit about a little bit, you're probably going to learn some really good habits. So it's a matter of time for me, because I am going to, maybe in my Valencia block, I think I'm going to look to join a club, because I think it's about time. So yeah, if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit.
There's a throwback. Brilliant.
Yeah, join our club.
So yeah, I don't know. What was your favourite flavour of club?
I quite like the orange one, as I remember.
Oh, okay.
There was the blue one. What was that? Was that just like the normal?
Yeah.
So I remember the orange one. Used to get that in my lunchbox at school from me mum.
Yeah. The king though was the green one, the mint club.
Oh yeah, I think that rings a bell. Yeah, that does ring a bell.
I don't think there's a better combination than mint and chocolate.
I'm a big fan of mint chocolate. Yeah, I think it is a good combo. Are you a fan of an Aero?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They do a good minty goodness, but good minty chocolatey goodness.
Yeah. Any mint chocolate, I'm down for. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the best ice cream flavour, mint chocolate.
Yeah.
without a doubt.
not that I'm an ice cream, connoisseur, but that's what Laura always has. She always has a mint choc chip. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if it's the same with Laura. Quickest way to her heart is mint choc chip ice cream. It sounds like yours as well.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a big. I think that's a lot of people probably agree with that. A lot of
yeah.
people agree with that.
So, but back to clubs. What club in particular are you thinking of?
Well, in Worcester, in the area actually, we've got a few. There's there's a big one, probably the biggest in the area, which are called the Black Pair Joggers, which any of you that have raced locally will probably know their vest, which is a black vest with a green and orange stripe, I
I think
think,
it's orange. Yeah, yeah.
across their middle. So there's them, and they do track workouts. They do organized meets of different paces. They're a big club, so they probably run very similarly to B&R. There is Worcester AC, who I do like the look of. They're maybe a little bit more. They just seem a little bit less social and a little bit more. I mean, this is just purely from the outside looking in, but they seem a little bit more serious. Let's just say
Yeah,
serious. They just have a feel of, well, I don't know. I don't know why I get that feeling, but they just seem a little bit more. I don't know what the word is. So there's them to consider, and their kit is all yellow, which I quite like their kit. And they do. I know you might have competed against them at various track meets and
yeah, yeah,
cross
yeah,
country
yeah,
meets and stuff. So
yeah.
same as Black Pear,
But
they do a lot as well.
yeah, yeah. Black Pair are in the Vets League with us, and I think Worcester are as well. Yeah,
Are they? Yeah. And
yeah.
another one I've got my eye on as well are the Malvern Buzzards, which are obviously based in
Ah,
Malvern,
yes.
but I don't think they do anything on a track. I don't think they do any track meets. And if I was going to join a club, I think that's going to be high priority for me to
Yeah,
just train on a track, because the Malvern Buzzards, I get the feeling, are predominantly trail based because of the Malverns and the undulating routes that you've got over there. And their kit is pretty good, I'll be honest. It's pink, white, and blue. And they've got a lot of variations on their vests and their tees and stuff. So yeah, I quite like their kit. So yeah, I've got a few options of who I could potentially join. I'd love to come and join you, but it's just a bit of a
yeah,
mission.
yeah. It is. Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
it's a good 45 minutes to get to your track nights and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But what's this thing about having a secondary club? Do some people
So,
have a?
yeah, so you can have first claim and second claim clubs. So you
Yeah,
can be a member of two different clubs and
right.
run for both of those clubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a first claim and a second claim, basically.
Why would you do that? Why would people do that?
So depending on where they live, whether
Yeah,
they may have moved away for university or somewhere else, and they still want to be a first claim for their original club, but then they want to train with a second club.
yeah.
We've got several lads who are second claim for B&R, who are first claim for Brat.
Oh yeah.
So they come and train on a Tuesday and Thursday with in Kath's group, because Kath is such a good coach. They want to train with Kath. So
I
they're
see.
second claim for B&R and train with her on a Tuesday and Thursday. But then when they race for their first claim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. So Brat they're a Birmingham club, aren't they? They wear the black
Yes,
vests with
yes,
the red writing, and they
yes,
mainly do they do a lot of triathlon and stuff?
yes. So Brat actually stands for Birmingham Running and Triathlon.
Ah, okay, yeah, all right, that makes sense. Because isn't Leggett Lee a Brat
Yes, he is.
runner?
Yes,
I've seen him
yeah,
in his vest before. Yeah. I see. You see a lot of them about in the local races, and to be honest, they all
yeah.
seem like
They're a big, serious
they're
team.
a good
Yeah,
club. Yeah.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So so that's another reason. And then another reason is just different races in different places. So like some people want to go in racing more than one county, like vets leagues or whatever.
Yeah.
So they can be a second claim for a club and go and race elsewhere.
Was it an easy choice for you choosing a club?
Yeah. To me, I was only I never even thought about running a club, running for a club. But
Yeah.
if I was going to, it was always going to be B&R.
Yeah. Are there any other Redditch clubs? I know there's the Stars, isn't
There
there?
are, yeah. So there's Stars and there's Kingfisher Harriers and there's a couple of other like running groups and stuff like that. But B&R are the only what do they call it? Affiliated club.
Okay.
So like for Kingfisher Harriers or Stars, you wouldn't be able to do the cross country or any of the track meets and things like that,
I
because
see.
although they're a club, they're not a UK athletics affiliated club.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
they still do track sessions and all that sort of stuff. So Stars and Kingfisher Harriers still do sessions down at Abbey Stadium track and do all proper training, but because they're not UK athletics affiliated, you can't enter any of those races.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Well, there's I imagine in the city as well, if you live in a city, there's quite a lot of choice.
Yeah,
I imagine like whenever you do the Birmingham half marathon, for example, sorry, excuse me, hay fever at the moment. I feel like I've had hay fever since like February and I just can't wait. My nose is just can't I wake up and my nose is like bunged up. Um, I feel like whenever I do like the Birmingham half, for example, I see so many different areas of Birmingham with a running club, and
yeah,
it's pretty awesome to see. But I wish there was a little bit more of that out here in the counties, really. But there's not really too much massive amount of choice. But the clubs that do exist, like Malvern, like Worcester AC and Black Pear, have got big communities, haven't they? They've got
yeah,
big, there are a big community. Sorry, they've got a lot of local runners. And
yeah.
and what I like about the club as well, don't they seem to give you, for example, London Marathon, don't they have like a place that they award it to someone who they think is really deserving of it, or something
Well,
like that?
the way that B&R do it, so as a UK affiliated club, I think they do get a place at London Marathon, so they
Yeah.
get gifted a place. But the way that B&R do it is anybody who wants to try and get that place nominates themselves, and then they put the names in a hat and draw the name out a hat.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because I guess,
a couple of years ago, I put my name forward. What year was it? For 2022, I put my name forward, and one other guy put his name forward, and I didn't get pulled out of the hat because it's
oh, how are you?
50-50 chance. Lost it.
That is the most London Marathon ballot story I've ever heard. Your chances will never ever be better than 50-50, and you
I
still
know,
didn't get
but
it.
there we go.
Yeah, funny stuff. But no, I think the second half of the year, I've got my goals and my targets, and I think one of them has to be, joining a club. So yeah, I look at
Yeah,
a lot of runners around me who have
but
joined clubs, and they just seemed no one ever has a negative
yeah,
experience with a club. Surely,
yeah. No, not. Yeah, they're such a welcoming place as well. It doesn't matter what ability you are. There's people of your ability to run with, and
yeah,
there's people faster to aspire to. So it don't matter how good you are. There's always people to work alongside to improve your running.
yeah,
But one thing I do want to say is remember, just because you join a club doesn't mean you have to go to all of their training sessions, and doesn't mean that you have to train with them every week.
yeah.
So I go and train every Tuesday and Thursday with B&R because I like the structure of my training. to know that on a Tuesday and Thursday, that's what I do on an evening, is go and train with the club. They do training sessions on a Saturday, but I don't go to those because I want to go and do parkrun. And then on Sundays, they do a long run. So a group will get together and all go and do a group long run. Some weeks, I don't want to do that. I'll go and do my own long run, or especially when I'm marathon training, I don't want to go and run with a load of people when I need to go and do my session. So just because you're a member of the club doesn't mean you have to go to their training sessions. Like on a Tuesday and Thursday, I could go and do my own stuff. And sometimes I do. So if I can't get there in time, I'll go and do my own stuff. But so, it's not like you've signed up for the club, so you have to turn up every week. The main thing is you've signed up for a club. You're now a member of that community. You can turn up whenever you want and train. You've got that structured training if you want it. But the best part of it is all of these races open up to you, and all of these opportunities to improve your running open up to you.
I'd be interested to hear from anyone who is in something like the Lonely Goat Running Club, or there's another running club called the No Club Running Club. Like, I want to know what the perks are about those kind of digital clubs, if you know what I mean. Like the Lonely Goat one, for example, is just, you literally just get a t-shirt, don't you? You just get a and you just part of the family. That's it.
The Lonely Goat Running Club is for people who don't want that club structure and want to be able to enter races. So because they're a affiliated club, you can go and do the cross countries and stuff as a Lonely Goat member, but you haven't got to go to any club sessions or meet with any of the other club members. So you might not know a single other Lonely Goat runner.
Until race day when you've all got the gear on. But I wonder if you know, the No Club Running Club, I wonder if that's like a protest against running clubs, and they've just become a club because they don't like the way clubs are run. I don't know what
I always thought that was just a brand, just a clothing brand, and not a club. But I don't know. You never know. They might be a club as well.
I see. Well, I think I've seen them do organised events. You know, I think I've seen them do track nights and. Maybe it is literally just a brand then, a clothing brand. I didn't realise it was. I thought it was an affiliated thing. So. That makes sense. If it's like a no club thing, if it's like a brand,
Oh, talking of that, what was their name? Hang on, I'm gonna have to do some googling. Talk for me while I do some googling, so there's not radio silence.
Okay. Well, I can talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. So tomorrow at Race to the Stones, just for those of you who don't understand what I'm doing or think I'm an idiot, which is probably most people, it's a 100-kilometer run, which is non-stop. And the idea is we start at 6:30 and we run point to point. And there's aid stations along the way, every 10 to 15K. So what's that? Every 6 to 10 miles, something like that. And all I've really got to do, I think, is take care of what I'm going to eat the first few hours, because I'm going to start relying on the aid stations. So I'm going to start with some porridge in the morning. And I'm going to have that on the way, on the drive, which will be at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're setting off. And then I'm just going to hit the Saurine hard. I'm taking with me my, I say hit the Saurine hard. I'm going to have it. Here he goes. Brett Saurine Elesmore. So we're still waiting for that sponsorship, by the way. Hit us up, Saurine.
I am. Come on, Saurine. Get on it for me.
And so, I actually found, because when I was doing the Cotswold run last 2-3 weeks ago, I was making that my religious breakfast, if you know what I mean. I was having my porridge first thing in the morning, and then I was having the Saurine about 5K in. But I'd always eat. I'm
still waiting for the bill, by the way.
It's on its way, mate. Cost me a fortune. But I felt, do you know, on those ultras I did, I never felt hungry. ever once. And I think that's because I was just stuffing my face the whole time. I think that's because I got the fueling right early on in the day. I got I ate the saurine at the right time, and I didn't overeat either. I don't think, because it's not a very nice feeling running bloated, as I found out many times.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that saurine stuff just seems to have like magical properties. It seems to have like, it obviously tastes good. It goes down easy. I do find it. I wouldn't fancy eating saurine, for example, at the end of a race or 3/4 of the way through a race, because I'd have no saliva and it'd be a little bit difficult to break down because it's quite a stodgy consistency, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd need to throw some water down with it if you've run out of saliva. And it's the same with the Voom bars that I'm eating as well. I was using them in the Cotswolds, and I'll be using them tomorrow. I'm probably going to take about 7 or 8 with me, and have them across the day, every 45 minutes or so, as and when, because I do obviously need to keep. I think it's about 100 to 200 calories an hour I'm going to need, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many calories are in a Voom bar, but I find that the more dehydrated I become, the harder those bars are to get down. So it's like munch, have some water, munch, and it's like I can't produce enough saliva to get those things down because they're not water-based like gels. So yeah, I'm basically just going to eat my way through Oxfordshire and Wiltshire tomorrow, and I'm basically just going to be like, just going to be eating the whole time and just running. So it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I was chatting to Rich Banks, who did the ultra last week with Lisa. Over in Wales, and he said when he was training for that ultra, he said the best advice he got given was, when you start your ultra, start on actual food. So have actual food for as long as you can stomach it, and then move on to gels and energy bars.
Okay.
Rather than starting with energy bars, because you'll just get sick of them by the time that you finish the ultra. And you actually want proper solid food in your stomach to start the race and for the first part of the race, because you want to keep on topping up that before you start just shoving sugar and gels down you.
Yeah, because I don't want to be getting to a point where I'm feeling nauseous and a bit sick. So that's why I think normal. Well, you don't know how you'll feel after 8. I won't know after 60k, after 9 hours of being on my feet. So I've never run that far, but hopefully I won't be struggling with nausea and stuff. But you never know, I might be. But that's why the aid stations are good, because I don't have to carry so much gear with me.
Yeah.
And a big target I've got is I want to try and be done. I want to try and do 14-hour 100k. So last year I did a 50k in 6.5. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'd like to do. And I've got my times here, which might sound ridiculously slow, but come and talk to me after 80k and tell me that this is slow. So I'm going to hopefully try and do an average pace for the 100k of 13 minutes 30 per mile, or 8 minutes 24 per k, and that will get me in for 14 hours. I'm pretty sure that's what I worked it out as. So yeah, that's what I need to hit. So it's basically a run walk. It's basically jeffing pace, but I'm hoping that towards the end, that jeffing is still jeffing and it's not just turned into a hike or a stumble. So
what's the elevation profile like?
Not bad, considering it's 60 odd miles. It's only 1,300, which is, when I was doing the Cotswolds, I was doing more than that for half the distance. So it's actually not too bad. The hills aren't that bad, I think, and there's not that many of them. And I think there's a lot of gentle up and downs and flats, rather than really, really quite sheer up and down. So yeah, what's that? 1,300 meters, about 3,000 foot, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not that bad. Maybe a bit more, 4,000 feet, but yeah, just excited for it now. Just want to see if my little legs can carry me across the finish line, and I want to try and see if I can be done without using my head torch as well. So I wanted to see if I can be done 14 hours, starting at 6:30. Hopefully, I should be done by about 8:30 at night. That's what I hope.
Nice.
That's what I hope. So
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Is there a tracking app or anything like that for it?
No, the cheeky bar stewards at Threshold make you pay for a tracker because the race. Yeah. So I've not done that because I don't know how much it is, but it's quite a lot. But yeah, you've got like a timing chip on the back, but it's not a GPS thing. But it's apparently they can track you because apparently their HQ can find you from this.
Yeah.
I think if you get in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's not available for the public, so you have to use.
And there's no timing maps or anything at any of the checkpoints to see what time.
No, there isn't. I think it's only the start and the end where the mats are. So you know those orange things that you have to put on your shoulder. Have you ever seen those big GPS things? They look like bright orange. You know, the size of a phone. Look like a. Have you ever had an external hard drive, a Lacey Tech thing? Looks a little bit like that. Yeah. And they're about 50 quid to hire, I think, or maybe they are cheaper than that. I don't know.
One of those.
It's like carrying one of them on your shoulder. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah. But I could be wrong about that. But that's what it was last year. But this year I haven't even looked into it. But it's definitely not. Everybody gets one as part of your entry. And as well, I should mention, I've paid 170 quid for this. So DNF is only a last resort. I'm going to have to be dead to DNF this. I am, you know me, Brett. I am thrifty. I like to get my money's worth out of things.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. So
so I've paid a lot of money for this. So I'm going to be eating about 14 packs of crisps every aid station, drinking about 4 litres of Coke every aid station, and getting my money's worth. So I'm going to get a massage and a blooming pedicure at every one as well. Because at these aid stations, there's like doctors that will foot doctors that will massage you and take care of tape up your feet and stuff like that. So yeah, it might take me about 2 weeks.
What a horrendous job! That must be the worst job ever. Oh, I've just run 60 miles. Can you have a look at my feet? Oh man!
Do you know, I found out as well, and I shouldn't think like this because I've just been slagging off like my summer of slowness. But next year, I could qualify for the ballot for the UTMB because this 100K is UTMB affiliated. So the way the UTMB is, each time you do a UTMB index race is what they're called. So there's one in Snowdonia, there's the Arc of Attrition might even be one in Cornwall. But you get what they call running stones, and the more you have, so if you do their 50K, you get 1 stone. If you do 100K, you get 2 stones, and that's basically one entry into the ballot for UTMB in Chamonix.
Yeah.
So if you do 100 miles, even more.
A bit like Thanos and his gauntlet.
What is that?
Or the Infinity Stones.
Hang on, I don't know this. Okay.
It's a
biblical
Marvel
reference?
thing. No, it's a Marvel thing. As in, like Thanos,
talk me through it.
Superhero. No, have you not watched any of the Marvel films?
Not a Marvel fan. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I'm just a little bit plain when it comes to film. Maybe it's my boring and my lack of imagination. But as soon as somebody starts flying, I'm out.
That ain't going to happen in real life.
So I'm more of a kind of Goodfellas, Casino kind of fan.
Yeah,
really. Wolf of Wall Street is my favourite.
There was a guy at work a few years back who made me chuckle because he was like, "I don't watch that shit. Don't watch Marvel and stuff like that. No, it's ridiculous. That ain't going to happen in real life. I love James Bond."
James Bond, psychological realism. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's like the amount of baddies you think, like, how, you're not a baddie, you're not real. Goldfinger, odd job. You're an odd job.
Uh,
So quickly, before you say what you're about to say,
yeah.
top three films. What would they be? Just Star Wars 1, 2, and
Ever.
3. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Star Wars is up there, but my favourite. I'm only going to say one Star Wars because obviously you've got to have a wider net than that. But my favourite Star Wars film is the first ever one, which is either called Star Wars when it was originally released, or A New Hope. So the original from 1977. That's my favourite. Then there's several that are up there. I think Dawn of the Dead, the original George A. Romero one, not the remake, because the remake is awful.
Was that got George Clooney in it? No.
No.
What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of what's Dawn of the Dead again?
So Dawn of the Dead is the zombie film. Where
is that a bit? Is it a bit comical? The remake?
No. It's where they're trapped in a well, not trapped, but they get into a shopping mall and barricade themselves in a shopping mall.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
George Clooney. I think Salma Hayek's in the one I'm thinking of.
Do you mean from Dusk
Till Dawn? Yeah, they go to that bar.
Yeah.
It's from Dusk Till Dawn.
That's vampires. That's not zombies.
Vampires. Yeah. Again, anything with like vampires. I'm not that bothered about it.
Yeah. So Dawn of the Dead, the original George A. Romero zombie film. My biggest gripe with the remake is the zombies run, and zombies can't run. I'm sorry. Yes. In zombie lore, a zombie is a reanimated corpse, so a zombie can't run. So any running zombies, and I'm out. No thanks. Don't want to watch that.
Hopefully, you got straight onto Ofcom about
that. And then also up there, oh man, American Pie.
Oh wow, great choice.
Just because it came out at the right time. I was 18 when it came out, and it just hit perfectly. I remember watching it in the cinema and just going, "This is like this is a perfect film. It's hilarious." And then I know I've already done 3, but I'm going to do another one. The Exorcist is well up there as well.
Yeah, I mean that is a classic. Because yes, it is on the beyond the realms of possibility, but it's just on the cusp of, well, it's shocking, isn't it? It's a shocking film.
Yeah.
And for that reason, top of my list is, or very towards the top, is The Shining. Massive.
Oh, great film. Yeah.
Anything by Stanley Kubrick. I just think he's one of the best filmmakers of all time. But for me, Pulp Fiction, massive Pulp Fiction. I just think that is the coolest film. One of the coolest films I've ever seen in my life. And I know I just mentioned it, but The Wolf of Wall Street, I'm obsessed with that film. And I know it's really long, but I can watch it and feel like 12 minutes has passed every time. I almost know that film word for word. And I'd say, Wolf of Wall Street, Pulp Fiction, The Shining.
I've also got to put up there, and I'm going to go for the whole trilogy rather than just the one film. But Lord of the Rings, what a film!
Yeah. Which is the one that's cleaned up on the Oscars? Was that Two Towers? The second one,
possibly. Yes, the second one. Yeah.
Is that the one with the walking trees?
The Ents.
Eh?
The Ents.
Ents.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ents.
Oh right, okay,
that's the trees.
Right, yeah. The Ents. Yeah. Is the third one the one where the end takes about 2 hours?
Yeah, there's about 10 different endings.
You think, oh, it's over now. It's only been on half an hour. Yeah. And there's like
Yeah.
their return back to the Shire takes. Do
Yeah.
you know apparently Tolkien based the Shire around? It's said that there's a village not far from us in Malvern called Cradley, and they call
Yeah.
that Middle Earth because
Yeah.
apparently
Yeah.
I don't know if Tolkien is he a Brummie or he
Yeah.
was
He's from Brum.
affiliated with Birmingham, is he somehow?
Yeah. No, he's from Brum, and they basically he based the Shires on Worcestershire. That's why
Yeah,
it's the
because
Shires,
isn't
Worcestershire. Yeah.
is it Mordor based on Redditch?
No, but the two towers are the two towers in Birmingham. So there's two
Oh,
tall towers, and that's where he based the two towers on.
right, interesting. Yeah, and
So yeah, it was all based on local area.
Malvern's got a bit of a affinity with the Lion Witch and the Wardrobe as well, which is it? I always get these wrong. Is it T.S. Eliot or C.S. Lewis? Who's Lewis, wasn't it?
C.S. Lewis.
Who's T.S. Eliot then?
Didn't they do Alice in Wonderland or something like that?
Yeah, sounds about right. C.S. Lewis then, because all the gas lamps that are in Malvern are still there, and they're all like from the Victorian era. Apparently, they're a big feature of Narnia.
No, I've just thought T.S. Eliot is Cats. I'm sure
But
it
the
is.
musical.
I'm gonna have a look now. No, like the original book, the book about cats that then Andrew Lloyd Webber based the musical on.
Why have I
sure
heard of
it is.
T.S. Eliot?
Hang on, I'm gonna have a look just to make sure.
But I always get them to.
Eliot.
It's a good bit of the podcast now, isn't it?
I know it is, isn't it?
Oh,
Once again,
he's got the same birthday. He's got the same birthday as me.
Who has?
T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot. 26th of September. What a legend. What is T.S. Eliot best known for? Such works as The Wasteland and 4 quartets.
Yeah, there we go. Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats.
Okay. Yeah, well done.
And
that's
what Andrew Lloyd Webber based his musical on.
Good knowledge. Before we got sidetracked talking about films and cats.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You went to Google something and I started talking about taurine.
Yes. So in the US trials, there was a clothing company, like a running brand called Bandit.
Yeah.
They are absolute geniuses because their marketing during the US trials was fantastic. So basically, they came up with the idea that if you are running in the US trials, but you haven't got a sponsorship from a brand, most people wear a brand's clothing anyway. So that brand, without paying that athlete a single penny, is advertising the brand because it's all across all of the TV coverage and all of the photos and everything. So Bandit decided to, for anyone who didn't have a brand sponsorship, to give them a kit which was just plain black with 0 markings on and no branding at all. So all of the athletes who hadn't got a deal with a brand were instantly recognizable because they were just in all black with no branding.
Yeah, clever.
And if they did well, then a brand could go, hey, you did really well. I've noticed you've not got a sponsorship. Would you like a sponsorship or something like that? But the brands aren't getting any like limelight from people who they're not actually paying.
Yeah, that's quite clever.
Absolute genius. And because of that, Bandit then got a load of publicity and press. Yeah. So their brand grew by not even having their logo anywhere.
Yeah, their hats and vests and the singlets are quite cool. I've seen a lot of. I mean, they seem to fit a certain type of physique. Maybe a bit like
Yeah,
Saw, but they're nice. It's good kit, isn't it? It's like really nice
yeah,
gear.
yeah. But I just thought it was brilliant. Their idea of don't advertise a brand who aren't giving you any money. If
Yeah,
you're going to advertise someone on the big stage, make sure that they're giving you some compensation for advertising them.
it does make sense, doesn't it? Because every time I go on YouTube, not comparing myself to these people who've just got millions and millions of followers, but yeah, I'm always wearing Nike and Adidas and stuff like that. And it's just, well, I'm just basically doing their marketing for them
Yeah,
for free. So yeah,
exactly.
it does make sense. But you've got the right idea, wearing your own kit all the time, and it's like
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
best way to do it. Yeah,
It
yeah,
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always had that idea though, like because just in general in daily wear, I'm wearing like my clothing, and people always go, "Don't you have any other t-shirts or any other clothing?" And I'm like, "But why would I wear other brands? Because if I'm not going to wear my own brand, why? How can I expect other people to wear it?" So
yeah,
the whole point is I wear my brand of clothing
yeah.
because I want number one, I want to advertise it, so I want people to see it and if they like it, then try and find it. And also, if I'm going to wear other people's clothing, why? It just in my head, it's like if I'm not going to wear it, then I can't expect other people to be wandering around wearing my brand.
Exactly. I think that's a really good way to look at it. So, and by the way, speaking of the devil, I am going to be. Did you watch my Cotswold video about Bath when I was wearing the camo?
Yeah, yeah,
Your Obi-Wan brand camo. That is
yeah.
what I'm going to be wearing for my 100K tomorrow. I absolutely
Ooh.
love wearing that on the trails. It's such good kit. I really genuinely
Nice,
like it. It looks great and it feels great. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be wearing that for the big one tomorrow.
nice, nice.
So yeah,
Cheers, man.
I'll be repping Obi-Wan brand. I'll try not to like film myself in the dark times, in the bad moments when I'm like being sick or just in a wild poo or something. Because you'll be like,
make sure you do, because that would be the best viral marketing ever.
okay, I will. Yeah, I will. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, wear this tee whilst you're doing a wild poo. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. You said
Yeah.
it. You said it. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Achieve your next poo bee wearing this tee.
How to get to Pooh B.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm mega looking
Um,
forward to tomorrow. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna get myself vassoed up this time, so I hopefully don't get any arse chafe
excellent.
again.
Yeah.
And and it should be reet. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Excellent. Have you got anything else on your list of things to talk about?
I actually don't think I have. No, I actually said to you before this, I haven't got any notes for the first time in 6 months, and here we are, one
Yeah.
hour 30 minutes later, still
Yeah.
chatting. So I don't know how
I
we've
know.
done that.
Yeah. You also didn't have a riddle me this until 2 seconds before we started recording.
I just realised we haven't got one. So, and to be honest, I'm glad I didn't research that and spend time and effort because you got it within seconds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant.
But what about you? Have you got any other business?
Well, the only thing I've got before we finish off with the Strava segment
Yep.
is I've got a bit of a decision to make, and I was thinking you or the listeners could help me make the decision.
Okay.
As you know, I quite like competing in the Vets League,
Yep.
and the Vets League final, so like the cup final,
Yep.
which hopefully we'll qualify for again this year. is on I think it's the 1st of September. Let me check.
Okay.
Let me check. Yeah, so the 1st of September, it is the Vets League final. But Calvin from our club has organised the Edgar Nichols 10,000 metres again this year, which is the 10,000 metres on the track that I did last year when I just came back from America. And I was basically a stone heavier and full of root beer and American food. But the Edgar Nichols 10,000 metres is also the Worcester champs and the Midland Counties champs, all in the same race.
Yeah.
Now, I've got no chance of competing for any of those like medals in any of those, in the Edgar Nichols Cup, the Worcestershire champs, or the Midland Counties champs. But I quite enjoyed having a crack at a 10,000 metres on the track. But he has organised it on the 31st of August. So it's the day before the Vets League final. So now I need to make a decision of, do I do a 10,000 metres race on the track, or do I do the Vets League final and run a 3,000 metres and possibly a couple of other shorter track distances?
Is it unthinkable to do both?
Yes, because if I run the 10,000 metres, I'm going to be pushing it hard and trying for a PB. There's
if it's
no
the other way
point
around,
yeah, there's no point in going to a track race and just plodding round, is there? If you're on a track, you're going for a PB, aren't you?
Oh, it's a difficult one. How much does this 10,000 metres mean to you?
Yeah, no. But then the Vets League final is like, they're both ones I'd enjoy doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It all depends, actually. This is the thing. The 4th Vets League meet of this season, so the 4th and final meet, is at Abbey Stadium at the end of this month, and I'm hopefully going to be running the 3,000 metres in that. So it all depends on whether I can break that 10-minute barrier at the end of this month, or whether I need to do it at the Vets League final.
Oh, I just think the word final has just got something about it that you'll just want to feel like you're in the final. And if you're choosing, you've obviously worked really hard, and it's going to be obviously the last track meet of the season, of the year.
Pretty much, yeah. That'll end track season.
Yeah.
The only thing as well, though, is at Vets League final last year, because we didn't quite manage to get a full team to go. I ended up running the 400 meters, the 800 meters, the 1500 meters, the 3000 meters, and the 400 meters relay.
Oh dear. Do you have to run those shorter distances before the 3,000? Do you run the longer distances first?
They were all mixed up around.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I
don't have to run all those races. It was just like, oh, we've got no one to run this race, and I was like, oh, I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
So
is the 10,000 meters one a club race?
No, anyone can enter.
Right.
So if you were up for a 10,000 meters on the track at the end of August,
I might actually
one you could enter.
Interesting. Where's it at? Abbey Stadium?
It's at Abbey Stadium, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. I feel your pain on that one, because I don't know. If it were me, I'd probably want to compete in the final. If it was, the choice of the two. Oh, I don't know. It's so difficult because 10,000 meters is.
Yeah, I'll see how I get on at the end of this month in the last Vets League meet. If I can break 10 minutes, that might help my decision a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
because if you do run a sub 10, you ought to think, well, job done on the 3,000 now. I can retire.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my target for the year hit. So I ain't gonna worry.
Yeah. Difficult one. Yeah, I think that's a good course of action. See how you get on at 3,000 and then
exactly
take it from there.
Right. So let's move on to our final part of the pod, and let's go to the Strava segment. So, I know we were chatting about this before before we started recording. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first with my thing?
Yeah. See, I just thought about this like when we were just chatting beforehand, and for me, there's one thing on Strava that really irks me. I don't know why, but it does. And that's people. God, I'm going to become public enemy number one now. That upload their Peloton workouts because it's one of those things where I just think it's just some dude who's ripped or some woman on a bike who just looks so ridiculously out of reach in terms of fitness that's going, come on, or give me one less set or something like that. And I just find it so cheesy. And it's just like, you could have absolutely tanked and had a really bad session, but you see this little thumbnail that they've uploaded, you think, wow, they must look exactly like that. And I don't know why it annoys me so much, the Peloton workouts. But it does. It just does. I don't know why. Maybe I need to get a Peloton and work out what it's all about.
Yeah. It's a bit like the what's the have you ever heard of Zwift?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Zwift workouts that people upload?
No.
And it puts a map on, but it's a map of, it could be anywhere in the world.
Oh, like the mountains or whatever. Yeah.
And in the top left it just says virtual.
Yeah.
So it shows where they've been, but virtually. Really, they've just been in front of their TV.
Yeah.
Or they've been in some made up place called Watopia or some.
Yeah, Watopia. Like I think that's a Peloton workout, isn't it? Watopia. But yeah, Peloton workouts. I don't know why they annoy me so much, but they do.
Yeah, it's just the thumbnail, though, isn't it? It's the fact that there is no map and there's no picture of anything. It's just a picture of
an aerobics class. I've probably got one if I just scroll onto Strava within a few like. Yeah, go on. You tell me yours, and I'll see if I can find one.
Well, mine's a bit more positive.
Good.
My Strava segment thing that I can get down with this week is people giving their activities funny names. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I quite like it. There is one person in particular who stands out, which is Andy Devine, who I'm not sure whether he's got a name generator for his titles. I think he might have. But some of his titles for his workouts are really good. So he's, for instance, recently he's had one called In Stride Out.
That's good. That's good.
2001, A Pace Odyssey.
Oh, that's pretty good as well. Yeah, that's good.
And Inception.
That's too. Come on, Andy. That's too good to be yours. Come on, you must be. That's ridiculous. That's so good. So
I really like those. And then to go along with that, there's a guy called Nick Dale from Alf Church, which is the village next to Redditch, and he his make me chuckle every time I see it, because whenever he does his S&C, he says he's doing his hit on either the patio of pain, which I think is brilliant. So if he's doing it outside, he's doing hit on the patio of pain, or if it's bad weather, he does it in the garage of grief.
Oh, I like that. The garage of grief. That's got a lovely ring to it.
Which I think is great. So yeah, I think activity names, when you put a bit of comedy in there, is great.
Yeah. Here we go. While I found it, I didn't have to scroll that far. Who's that?
I thought you said it was a ripped guy. That looks like Mr. Muscle. Do you know Mr.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his top on, fortunately, but he's here we go. He's a little zoomed in there. Yeah. So, well, that's Matt Wilpers, if you're wondering.
Oh, what a Matt.
But I'm not. No, that's not the person who's uploaded it. I'm not having a go, of course, at anyone that is doing Peloton, because it's a brilliant thing. It is purely the thumbnails and these class leaders that just annoy me, because they look as smug as the gladiators, like as in the TV show, but they don't even look like. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just jealous that I don't look like Matt Wilpers. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm glad I don't look like him.
You don't want to look like Matt Wilpers.
No, loves the jobs you hate.
He either looks like Mr. Muscle or the guy from the R. White's lemonade adverts.
R. White's. Yeah, I know exactly who you mean. Yeah,
the secret lemonade drinker.
Yeah, Matt Wilpers loves the tempo workouts you hate. Keep it up. Keep up the good work if you're a Pelotoner. Nothing against you. It's just your thumbnails.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, so finally on to last week's leaderboard. So our Strava leaderboard on the club. We now have, I think we've got 157 club members now on Strava, which is excellent. So thank you everyone for joining and taking part. But our leader of last week's leaderboard was someone who was in the top 3 last time. It was Tommy D.
Yes, Tommy, good lad.
Yes, so he topped the leaderboard with 67 miles. And in second place, we have our first place lady, which was Lisa Thomas. And I think her ultra of 54.6 miles, I think that helped her get up to that 65.4 mile total for the week. So, well done, Lisa. And in third place was Jack Bancroft with 62 mile.
Nice one, Jack.
So, well done, Jack. That's great.
So,
but what I was just going to say. So, last week I was saying about how Tommy D absolutely destroyed me with elevation. This week he's got a very good elevation profile again. So he's got an elevation gain of 3,711 foot. But he got absolutely destroyed by Lisa in the elevation this week from her ultra, because she did 7,388 foot of elevation gain.
Yeah, and you know that 7,000 of that was on the ultra.
Exactly.
That's mental. So was that the did she do the Gower? Do you know what ultra she did?
It was one at the bottom of Wales, all round the what's it called? What do you call it? The edge of land next to, like, on all the cliffs and all that stuff.
Is that the original? Is that the name of the race?
Yeah, that is, yeah. The one in Wales down at the bottom of the country. Yeah.
That might be the Gower. I don't know. We'll have to look on her Strava and find out what it was. But no, well done for your.
Yeah, I'm going to go and do that now, just so we can actually.
Just while you're doing that, we had a couple of comments from last week. So Freddie Runs, who did Endure 24 and won, he came top of the league. And he said, haha, that's the only way I'll ever get to the top of a leaderboard. So just need to do an Endure 24 every week, Freddie, and you'll be top of the league all the time. Mac, friend of the podcast. He's put Mac, feller of trees, friend of the podcast. He says, Strava segment's a great idea and cheers for the company on his long run. Well, it doesn't actually say on his long run, but I think that's how he listens to us. We had a comment from Run Like a T-Rex. So Dave, aka Dave, said, thanks for the shout out. 3-minute 10K for PB for me and a 10-minute quicker than last year, although it was an oven last year. And he's talking about his 2 castles, which is the Warwick to Kenilworth race. Didn't quite hit the sub 50 target as stomach and Achilles issues didn't let me quite do what I was capable of. Just one of those days that happen. Lovely to meet you both on the day, and I've fully caught up on the podcast now. That must have been a marathon of podcasts because these are all 1 hour 45 each. And one last one was from Mark G, who enjoyed my rant at Jasmine Paris.
Brilliant.
Saying, but can she do it in Droitwich? Yeah, she could do the Barclay Marathons. Can she do Jacob's Ladder at 9 miles?
Exactly.
He says, Brett's description of runner's knee matched perfectly with my experience, as well as strengthening the VMO, teardrop muscle. I got a lot of benefit from foam roll in the quad on the outer side of the leg, focusing on any really tight knots there. The inside gets weak and the outer side compensates and gets tight, in my opinion. Great episode as always. Cheers, Mark.
So,
have you found it?
Well, I'm just looking, and I'm completely wrong. I apologise. Wasn't at the bottom of Wales at all. It was in North Wales.
Top of Wales. It's close. Close.
But it started in a place called Neffin and went all round the coast. And finished in Aberech, I guess. I don't know, but I think it was called the Wales Ultra Trail.
Who came up with that title? The Wales Ultra.
No, the Wales Ultra Trail.
Wales Ultra Trail. That's still bad.
I know. Yeah, I know.
The Wales Ultra Trail.
Yeah. But there we go.
They should have called it something like "There's nothing like this trail." You ain't seen nothing like this. That's what I'd call it.
Brilliant. Right, and on that, so on our really bad end to that podcast, we should probably
How do
call
we do
it there.
this? 1 hour 46.
I don't
literally
know.
Made 0 notes. Can only apologise.
Yeah. The only notes I had down was the Strava segment and should I do the Edgar Nichols 10,000 metres or the Vets League? That's the only notes I've got.
Yeah, I mean, we could have finished this podcast within 10 minutes if we'd have just addressed those things. We just ended up talking about American Pie. How did that happen?
Exactly. Brilliant. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to let you go and pack and get ready to go run 100K.
Can I just quickly finish by saying it is affectionately known as Race to the Cones, or Race to the Cone, not Race to the Stones, because, right, here's a zoomed out, there's 100K, that's my route map there. But if I zoom into the last kilometre, you don't actually race to the stones anymore, because that little circular bit at 99K there is where the stone circle is, like the little mini Stonehenge. So you go up to it, you run round a cone, and you turn round, and then you run through a field, and that's where you finish on a farm.
Oh,
so you don't.
What?
So that's why everybody calls it Race to the Cones or Race to the Cone, because at 99 kilometers you have to run around a effing cone, and then turn round, and then finish in a field, because they don't let you finish by the stones anymore. So
man.
Race to the Cone.
But because of your Race to the Cone, it might mean that you and old Sam Bauer will be top of the leaderboard next week.
Yeah, especially with our misadventures. No doubt, probably be going wrong again. So probably get a few extra 5Ks in there as well. Probably get a 10K extra in there. 110K race. I thought it was only 100k.
And
Why have you done 100 miles? Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, I'll let you go and pack, dude. Thank you very much to every single one of you who are listening. And I haven't said this before, but if you're still listening now, go and give us a review on Spotify or iTunes. Give us a 5-star review and get us up that table and get more people listening. Tell someone about the pod. If you're enjoying listening, tell someone. Let's get some more listeners and get the word out there.
If you want to play a practical joke on someone, tell them a really good podcast, a really short podcast.
Really short episodes that they can listen to in a 5K run. Yeah,
bite-sized podcasts.
But thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week, guys. Cheers.
See you guys.